Hey guys, Neo with the Academy here. Doing something a little different today. I'm going to give you a tour of the opulent ASL Academy Headquarters. Now, when I say opulent, I actually mean it's a wretched hive of scum and villainy. But I'm going to show you the where all the magic happens. It's not as elaborate as you may think, and it's quite messy and jumbled and claustrophobic, but let's do a tour of the ASL Academy. All right. The ASL Academy is actually my office, my den, and we'll start over here with the ASL shelf. This is just a portion of my ASL. This is probably the main portion of my ASL collection. Over here you have the Complete Order of Battle in Hosan's storage, which they're a little pricey, but they are very, very nice. I did a video on them several years ago. Not the greatest video, but it will show you what the Hosan storage is all about. And then I have my dice tower by Mario, of course. Excellent dice tower, very quiet, very plush, dice storage underneath. Then I have my original squad leader and up front. The original squad leader dates back to 78, I think. And there's a second copy of Cross of Iron unpunched of Cross of Iron and Squad Leader above that. Starter kit, Decision at Elst. Second edition spread across 4 notebooks. So you've got the main rules, all the campaign game rule sets, and then Chapter H spread across those 4 rule books. A pocket version, 2, the most recent, I think, and Chapter H. These have not been spiral bound yet. A copy of The Art of War by Sun Tzu. Every wargamer needs a copy of The Art of War. This is interesting. I don't have a lot of critical hit. I have a few things. I bought this one because it is related to Decision at Elst. It's basically critical hits version of Decision at Elst, and maybe I'll do an unboxing video of it sometime. The map is enormous, as is Critical Hits Way, and it's quite a bit different than the Decision at Elst map, which is, kind of like a simplified version of terrain, basically because of limitations of the system. I have some dice. I have some actual precision. We like to talk about, precision dice. These are actual engineered precision dice and machined. And I got these off of Kickstarter years ago. And the person doing them, they were modeled in 3D, and the depth of each of the pips is done correctly, so there's an exact center of gravity for each dice, right? And the materials, you could get Damascus steel, aluminum, tungsten, titanium. I can't remember if these are tungsten, or I can't remember what I ordered, but you can't use these in a dice tower. The corners are incredibly sharp. They won't fit in this dice tower over here. But they're more for display. If you roll them on anything, they'll damage something because the corners are incredibly sharp. I can't get a good zoom on it. There you go. You can kind of see it. But those are my precision machine dice that I don't really play with. This is full of dice, set to display snake eyes, of course. Below that, I have a copy of Zones of Control, a game about wargaming and simulation. I use this to track movement points sometimes. And then my reading list, my reading pile. Let's see. Well, some of you might know, I might have mentioned some of the videos that I am a lover of science fiction. I always have been. I have read Dune Messiah, but it's been 30 years, 35 years. And I recently reread Dune. I love Dune, the book, because the movies have come out and Dune 2 just came out. So I thought it was time to read Dune Messiah. So that's in my reading pile. I have Blood Meridian by Cormac McCarthy. Not my type of book, but I thought I'd give it a shot. It's a slog. I really enjoyed The Road by Cormac McCarthy. Not enjoying Blood Meridian, although it's supposedly a classic. Fated Sun trilogy. I've read 2 of the 3. This contains 3 books. I've read 2 of the 3. I have 1 more to go. Some graphic novels here, the Ascender series, sequel to the Descender series, which I really liked. Some old Doc Savage that I picked off of eBay, a Doc Savage collection. Like these when I was a kid. Doc Savage was one of the first superheroes, kind of originated the superhero genre. These are very short, but they're kind of like pulpy type fiction, just adventure, action adventure. I have book one of the Foundation series that I need to read, desperately need to read, and I have not read it. The Keep by F. Paul Wilson. This is a classic cult movie from the 80s starring Scott Glenn, Ian McKellen, who played Gandalf, of course, and the guy that was in Das Boot and Dune. He was Duke Leto Atreides in Dune. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. He's also in this. Not the greatest movie, but it's kind of a cult classic. I enjoy it. It's cheesy, but I have never read the book, but so I'm going to read the book for that. It's kind of a horror type genre, but it's got a World War II slant. Those of you familiar with the movie knows that it takes place during World War II and involves the Germans and a haunted castle, basically in Romania. I think it's Romania. Alistair Reynolds, one of my favorite science fiction authors. Book of short stories. About halfway through that, I read a short story from this every once in a while. And An Army at Dawn, of course. Most of you are probably familiar with this, by Rick Atkinson. I believe this won a Pulitzer Prize, part of the volume one of the Liberation trilogy. So I usually have a few non-fiction-y books going on, and I'm always reading one fiction book, and then I dabble in non-fiction here and there. So that's on my kind of reading list. I'm currently reading Shards of Earth by Adrian Tchaikovsky. Underneath that, I have All American All the Way by Nordyke. Classic book. We're doing a little research for some ASL projects we're working on. Then down here, back to the ASL. In the storage things here, we've got various packs, magazines, modules from Multiman Publishing, Bounding Fire, LFT, Critical Hit, a little more Critical Hit down there, Advancing Fire, and I think Lone Canuck over there behind the Solitaire ASL. Upstairs, I have duplicates of some of these, and I have a little more Critical Hit upstairs, and then I have all the original, first edition of these modules, like first old Beyond Valor, Gung Ho, Kota Bushido, things like that up there that have basically been retired. But this is the majority of the most up-to-date ASL collection. Let's see, what do we have over here? Well, let's go back over here. We've got, this is my working copy of the rulebook. Spiral bound. I've displayed that on video. Charts, some notes here. Printed out rules for the science fiction wargame Outreach by SPI. Drop zone rules that I've been meaning to read, and some unopened, unscanned packs, apparently. I have stuff squirreled away everywhere. Then this is where I'm sure most people recognize this. It's the mat for most of my unboxings. I use this mat. The blue basically shows the extent of the video frame. When I have this mounted up, the camera mounted up in there. All my videos for the past 3 years have been done on a phone. I mean, I finally got a nice kind of frame to be able to mount lights to. I have these gimbals that I can put lights on. I have one on each side. I have an extra one up here. Oh, I have it mounted right here. Right here. But I can put mount lights on, adjust them. But all the filming I do, other than my face on camera, is done on a cell phone. I don't really want to spend $1,000 on a specialized camera that might be marginally better than my cell phone. My cell phone to this point has served quite well. And I'll continue to use that until I find something that's relatively cheap. Nothing's cheap anymore, but something that makes sense, that gives good fidelity and good clarity, and hopefully 4K 60 frames per second. Camera phones can do 4K 60 pretty easily. You want to get that in another type dedicated camera, and the price starts going up. So I just use my phone for all the videos that you've seen. Then underneath here we have, I just move this aside and I have the plexiglass, and this is where I can do a board setup. I can fit 2, maybe 3 boards depending on orientation on here. I can't zoom out really enough to get more than 2 boards on here, 2 full boards at this point with this new setup. So anything you see me doing on camera involving real units is going to be usually 1 board, maybe 2 boards or less for sure, because I just can't get anything bigger to fit on camera without it being eye squinting small when it's on video. All right, let's see, what do we have over here? More junk. Bunch of dry erase. Some random counters I haven't put away that I use to do examples with. Some clippings. I clip as I go. I just pull out the bowl, clip, 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 put it back. Oh, got some old Steve Jackson games here. Got GEV. It was just one of the first war games. This is a reprint. It's one of the first war games I ever played. It was either GEV or Ogre. They're very similar systems. They were pocket games back in the late 70s, something like that. But they were very affordable. I think they were $3 or $4, which is about all I could afford back when I was a kid. They reprinted these, and I picked one up on eBay, or sorry, on Amazon. And then Battlesuit is another one. I forget how much these reprints cost. They weren't too bad, but they weren't $3, $4 like they were back in the day. Another set of clippers, 2 sets of clippers. This is what I do when I do bite-sized ASL and I get those zoomed in shots. I use this little tripod here, right? I can mount the camera to it, and you can get in close down like this on a mat board. That's what I use that little guy for. Printout of starter kit rules off of MMP's website, so they're up to date, although that printout is old. Various charts, scenarios, another module hidden underneath there, Crossing the Morrow by Lone Canuck. Oh, look, no MMP pack. I don't think that's even open. Wonder if I did an unboxing of that. Winter Offensive Bonus Pack 13. I don't know. Oh, and then what do we have here? Some BCS, Brazen Chariots, Last Blitzkrieg, Baptism by Fire. And then this is old, really old ASL stuff. What's in here? This is, I remember this. This is a photocopy of the first edition rules when I was playing quite a bit, so I could write in it. Back in the day, I didn't want to write on the, I have no problem writing on the, the pocketbook version. But I didn't want to, back in the day, I didn't want to write on the, the first edition original rule book. So I had a photocopy made, and that's what this is. It's kind of a crappy photocopy, but it worked. What else do we have in here? This is old stuff. This may be A Steps to ASL, great article. Really old Q&A, probably off of Usenet that I printed out, probably back in the early 90s. And maybe a lot of this stuff has been incorporated into errata at some point. Some labels for the Hosan that I haven't used. Firefights, I did not even know I had this. Heat Battle Firefights. You know what? I think I have 2 of these now. God, I need to go through my stuff. Three player pack, ASL Raw pack. This is pretty old. This has got to be 96. Critical Hit. Yeah, this is old, really old stuff. Route Report. Back to the Bulge. Here you go. The original Multiman Publishing, Backblast #1. This has got to be, it cost $5 back then. This has got to be worth, $6 by now. I'm thinking, right? Backblast #1. The original Multiman Publishing, Backblast #2. This has got to be worth $4.50, I'd say. No, $5.50. Yeah, more stuff. Those are my board. Here's some boards I haven't put away that I've used for some example or not or other. And then this is how, these are all my boards. 1A through whatever it goes up to, and 1 through, it's almost 100 now, I think, official MMP boards. These are just MMP boards. This doesn't include third-party boards. And I have them stored in basically slip sleeves here. Camera's probably super erratic. Hopefully you guys aren't vomiting. Basically notebooks I've created for storage. Basically looks like this. So I have easy access to them if I want to make a video. I have Magic cards. I was a huge Magic the Gathering player back in early mid-90s when it was kind of first came out. I haven't played it in a long time, but they came out with a Lord of the Rings set, and I love Lord of the Rings. I've always loved the book. I love the movies as well, but I've always been a lover of the book, and it's about time for a reread of that as well. So I picked up some Magic the Gathering cards. I'm Lord of the Rings versions. Now, I may not get to actually play it, but I just had to pick some up for nostalgia's sake and because it's Lord of the Rings. Love Lord of the Rings. I looked up the rule book for Magic the Gathering. Back in the day, it was kind of a little pamphlet. Now there's like a PDF online, and I swear it's 100 pages long. It's the system's gotten a little bit out of hand. People think ASL's hard. I looked at the Magic the Gathering rules, and I was like, what the hell happened to this game? And then, of course, everyone needs a Fundamentals of Physics reference book on their bookshelf, because why not? And here, this is an antique. Man, I'm going in depth here. Maybe this will help me clean up my office, getting some of this crap up. This is an old, HP 41 CV calculator. RPN got me through undergraduate engineering. Still works. I still use it. Has weird N-size batteries. But I've had this for 40 years, 45 years or whatever. Yeah, I probably got this back in 87 or so, somewhere in there. Still works fine. I still have not been able to deprogram my brain from using reverse Polish notation on a calculator. If someone hands me a regular calculator, I can't do math on it because I don't know how to use an equal sign. These have no equal sign. It does math differently, but when it's engineering, it's more intuitive. You can do math faster on an RPN calculator. Okay, here's the computer setup. It's probably a bit, get the screensaver off. Probably a bit overkill for most people, but let me zoom out here. But I worked in the computer industry for decades. I built computers, I designed computers, I worked with computers every day. So I'm a bit of a power user, and I'm a gamer. I've always been a gamer. So this is my computer set up. You can see the webcam right there for when I'm live. The lights on either side, which can be moved and put on that gimbal to do videos there. And the case is 12, 13 years old, liquid cooling. It's got liquid cooling in there. It's probably hard to see. Yeah, there it is. There's a liquid cooling block in the lines. And there is the radiator and pump on top. But yeah, to do things like video processing, which I wanted to show you guys, I often talk about how much time it takes to do video processing. Some videos are easy. If it's just a video of Scott and I chatting, and there's not a lot of post-production that needs to be done, that's fairly easy. But if it's a video that is, say, for example, this video, which I pulled up just to show you guys, this is turn 1 of Hamlet's Demise. And you can see here all the editing to put in all the annotations that need to be done, or to try to trim it down to make it, to take out all the hesitations or me thinking or just, time wasting, right? That all has to be edited out. Or it doesn't have to be, but I try to edit it out so the videos aren't overly long. But creating videos like this with a lot of animation takes a lot of time. And then to render it, depending on the length of the video, if you don't have a high-powered PC, it can take, and depending on the length of the video, it could take, an hour to render video. Then if you find a mistake, it takes another hour to render it. Short videos don't take that long, but long videos with a lot of annotations and a lot of motion can take quite a while to render, depending on what resolution you render in as well. Yeah, so video production. Filming videos does not take long. Video production and rendering. If it takes me an hour to film a video, an instructional video, to add annotations to it and get it right, to make it concise, it might take me 5 times that amount of time, maybe 8 times, right? An hour to film it, it may take a day to edit it correctly and put in graphics. I don't know, maybe people don't care about the graphics and they just want me yakking or not. I don't know. I try to make it informative, try to put rules in there and correct myself if I make a mistake to make sure that I am showing the game correctly as much as possible. I don't get it always correct, but I make an attempt to. So that's a video editing process. It can take some time. Another thing I wanted to show you, which I'm going to do a video of coming up, is the map making process. I've been sort of teaching myself the map making process, and I've been working on a historical map for a secret project that I've been working on, a historical project. And I think I've gotten to a point where I can at least make decent looking vasl level map, so it can be pulled into vasl and some playtesting can be done on it, and it can be printed out for personal use. It's not going to be, this would have to be redesigned for high quality look because the resolution is going to be a little bit lower, but it works fine for vasl. This version can already be pulled into vasl and be played on. So I'm going to do a video on how to do the map making process, at least at the vasl version, the lower resolution version. And I'm going to provide the Photoshop template for everybody with all the layers and all the brushes and the color palettes and the texture palettes, so you can create things like woods, orchards, green, whatever, okay? That's a video that's going to come later. So in the past few weeks, I've learned quite a bit about map design. A lot of it I had to learn on my own because I've asked for help here and there, and some people seem very reluctant to share what they have, whether it's files or brushes or textures or how to. A lot of this, I found a couple helpful people, but it's been like pulling teeth, and it shouldn't be like that, right? We should be sharing information. So I kind of taught myself some of this stuff, and I'm going to share this with everybody so you can make at least your own vasl maps if you just want to experiment with design or designing maps or designing scenarios and maps to play within vasl. Okay. All right, let's move on. We're almost done with the tour of the den of scum and villainy. This is just my printer and scanner. This is where I scan all my scenarios into PDF form, and then I print them as needed. I used to print them, and I had a huge library of basically backup printouts that I would put in notebooks, but I figured that it seems like a waste. So now I just put them in PDF, store them on my hard drive, and they're fully searchable. And if I need a scenario or I'm going to play a scenario, I just pull it up, print it out, boom, and then I play it. So instead of having notebooks full of stuff that's just sitting there, it's all on here and it gets backed up regularly. Then this is some stuff that I still need to scan the scenarios. Bonus pack 15, journal 14, I think. Yeah, various things here to scan. That's it. Couple guitars. That's a Yamaha acoustic. Fender Strat California Classic. I believe it's a California Classic. Wife bought it for me, 9 years ago or so for Christmas. I used to play for about a few years. I played 1 to 2 hours a day. And I was getting pretty decent. Then I got sick and I started having nerve issues, and playing it causes me, after I play for like 30 minutes, I start having lots of rib, side, and back pain. So I don't play it as much as I'd like to because I really enjoyed it and I was getting fairly decent for being self-taught, essentially. But I haven't played seriously in, since I got sick with this stupid celiac and nerve disease that I have, which is a pain in my ass. But oh, I have this. This is kind of cool. I don't remember when I got this. Atlas of the Second World War. I got this maybe 20, 30 years ago. Keep this in here for reference. It has basically maps, big detailed maps of World War II. And actions. But yeah, this is kind of cool. Hungary, September 44 to March 45. Kind of a cool book that I've had for quite a while. So this is the artist tablet that I use that I got recently on a Black Friday sale to annotate any video where we have a map and we want to show tactics and strategy. I can just draw on it with this. Easier to do than a mouse because you can just draw just like a pen, obviously. All right, that is it. That is the tour of the cramped ASL Academy Studios. Hope you enjoyed this little impromptu tour of my messy-assed den, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care.